Right, now, next bit here is that you need a drawing picture to draw your face. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who can just draw a face, but I like to look at something and draw a face. So I'm going for the Jotun or Jotun face, or whatever they call it. So here is the face that I'm working on, which is, as you can see, is a very good impression of the Jotun face. Now, because I've now squared that off like that, I'll be able to get the eyes and nose, etc. I'm not intending to do the whole face, just part of the face, because of an effect of just how I'm working things. Okay, I'll be back in a minute when I've drawn the face out. Okay, now I've drawn the face out. As you can see, absolute likeness. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to be cutting partly into the leather in a lot of places where I'm looking at the lines. Eyes and nose, the nose will only be partially cut out, you'll see why later in the video, and the eyes will be completely cut out, but the rest of this is just going to be only partially cut into the leather, and I've got to be a tad careful because I've thinned the leather down so much. And this is generally where I mess up. So this is what I'm doing next. Okay, so the other bit that will be cut out will be along here. So I've got the old teeth going on. Then I'll be showing you all the parboiling, etc. and blah blah blah. So you have to excuse me again while I disappear for a split second, but no. Right, now what I've done with cutting, that's what it looks like, just plain on the surface side. That's how we're looking at the back. That's all I really need. I've cut into these lines, but because I need to get a stub nose going, that in the parboiling process, I need to start with this. This is handy. This is the point when you realise that you should have actually scarred the edges before wetting all this bit up, and you sometimes think to yourself, stupid ass. Right, back in the next bit. I've cut out a couple of holes in some leather, glued it together. Simple thing, doesn't really matter too much, as long as there's some depth to it. In this case, probably a bit more depth. But this bit is like an easy bit and can bring much enjoyment. Stick there, find where your nose is going to be. Right, there's, oh hang on, you can't see down. Right, there's my nose. Here's my friend. And I eat it. Because damn no, it deserves it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm stretching the leather and missing all the bit, because I really should be in there. We're under medication. Yeah, anyway, okay, start. You get the idea, you know, we're starting to form. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. I can't see. But there's a nose forming there, and basically that's what I'm aiming at the moment. Is I'm forming a nose piece, using the hole in the leather. Just continue to do so, and this is before I start parboiling. The parboiling process is dodgy. So if you intend to follow any of my stupid advice, then I would seriously suggest watching the parboiling carefully. I'm just bringing the nose piece up there a bit, and be looking at boiling a kettle within a minute. This bit's a bit more complex. If I talk a bit oddly, it's because I'm sort of standing up. Kettle. Now, this plastic top has holes in it, and it will drop the extra boiling water into a bucket down below. Now, what I'm going to first do is that I'm looking to make this nose set, so then I can start working on the more extreme angles. Not extreme, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, right, basically we're pouring water on here, but the thing that I'm will be avoiding doing is to have too much boiling water run off in any one direction, because if that happens, the corner of your leather stiffens right up. It can curl, it will go rock hard, and it's a complete pain in the butt to it. So start pouring boiling water on here. The boiling water will initially soften up the leather, but the thing is that if you're not quick enough, the leather will harden up quite quickly and not be particularly usable. So you've got to be right dead careful. I'm not too concerned about the teeth area at the moment, because they're going to have to be hardened up. But as you see, I've got a nice dark brown going on there. I'm going to now push me nose back into place. Nose on this. Broken that down there. Because I'm kind of rushing at this, it's not totally out. Now, as this leather is still very wet, it's going to cause me problems in moulding until it starts drying off a bit. Now, I'm pulling in the nostrils here of the nose, as you can see. Now, the bit that I've forgotten, okay, make a pair of nice nostrils, stick a couple of screwdrivers up there, that will sort it out. Now, sorry, sit down. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this well, but I want a bit more emphasis on the nose, so I've got an old rag here, so I'm going to wedge up behind the nose, just so I can get a bit more nosy on it. So stuff that behind there, on top of there, there we go. Now, there's loads of tools and ways that you can get a bit more emphasis on the look of the nose and whatever. Use a screwdriver. If you haven't got the tools, I have got the tools, but I can't be bothered to dig them out right now. But what I'm doing is that I'm just putting in basic lines right now. You know, if you haven't got much tools, this is a very, very good way of doing stuff. Every so often, you know, as the process goes on, you'll lose lines, you'll find them again. Yeah, honestly, you just it's not something to worry about. One of the great curses of crafters is feeling that everything you do ain't good enough. Well, there's a lot worse things in life. So I'm giving him a little bit of look there around these bits, and they're just lines. You know, they're just basically facial lines. That's where I'm aiming at the moment, because the important part is right now is hitting that. Because this is, we have our steaming pile of leather. Right, so nose has been slightly put out, but I'm not too worried. What I'm doing here, as you can see, pushing, 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 more pushing. Oh, hang on, I need to pushing this way. I'm basically trying to squeeze into these lines. Screwdriver is actually coming in quite a lot handy in some of these instances, because I still want to get that look going to the nose. I'll be reshaping the nose very shortly, but I don't know if you can see just above, you're getting in the shape of the forehead going. If this was a skull, I'd be doing this completely differently. Well, not completely differently, but similarly, but different. Yeah. Make sure I got a bit more nose going on there. So shove that in there. Shove my screwdriver up his nose. He's not going to object. If he does, I'll be severely worried. Managed to lose your nose rag. Eyes, push into that piece of leather with a hole in, easy enough. Push that in, push that in, push that in. Get that pushed together. And remove that. And we start playing with the shape. This process goes on for ages, so I might be turning the video off for a while because it's just boring, okay? But basically this is what I'm doing: shaping, 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 turning it over, reshaping, turning it over, reshaping, etc, etc. Kettle. Oh, down there. Okay, right. Now I'll be doing a lot of hand manipulating of this once done. I might as well go for the eyes as well. I'm trying badly to try and keep away from the nose now, because the parboiling oddly will help dry out the leather quicker, but I just don't want to keep reforming the nose because it really does get annoying. Oh Christ, I put the bloody what's it wrong. Okay, probably going to get a load of water on the floor. Should have taken this off the living room. Oh, I did, yeah. Right, okay. Now you can see there, because I've had to come across the top, I've got the brown there. I'm not too worried about that in this case, because it being the York Yelton sort of mask. Now I'm going to go back and start hand, still reshaping it, but I just thought getting the depth of the eyes, thumb, nail, push, 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 because York has fairly deep set eyes. Now my leather is drying off quite quickly now, and that's because of the parboiling, solely because of the parboiling. So I've now got to work fairly quickly. This side I need to parboil slightly more so I can start getting more features. When I say features, the lumps and bumps and general look going on. But you can feel, I can feel as I'm doing this that the stiffness of the leather's coming in. I'm going to have to, everything that I'm doing here gets repeated and repeated, time after time. As the leather is slowly hardening, you'll feel how stiff everything is going. I'm not going to bore you too much with the re-parboiling of the bottom, because you're getting the general idea of how the face is coming about. But yeah, you can see that general look. The nose is fairly close to being quite hard now. But I'll just do a bit more parboiling, do a bit more of this and that, show you as it happens. In this bit I'm just sorting out the look of the teeth, to try and separate them from the lip. I'm trying to get as good a squeeze on the teeth to try and make them look lower than the lip. It's easy enough tonight to just sort of bend them back slightly to get the same effect, but what I've done is I've run a simple This is still wet, by the way, so I'll be reworking it. But what I did to also on the lip to try and get a better lip was I run a punch round here. But I mean, this also just simply doing that, you get that same look. Make sure that you do try to bend the teeth back. I'm not worried about all these scuff bits of leather as yet. I mean, given it's an orc, but ideally, if you can get these, the further back you can get the teeth, the better the end will be. So they're using the edge of this, squeeze them back. I mean, obviously, one good way would be to actually generally I stab myself at this point. Something like a screwdriver. But say the further you can push them teeth back, the better the overall effect will be once everything's dried and everything's moulded. Now I want to try and get behind here to try and push the lip out. So I'll use this. So much of the way I work tends to be sod it. I'll use this. So don't be too surprised. I mean, this markings that I'm getting by doing this are easily squeezed out before the leather gets too dry, because I've now parboiled this side. But you get the idea. I'm moving around like this. I'm trying to get a lip going to push the teeth back into the mouth. I don't like the look of them. Kind of. I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but because of how I've worked the leather, I'm getting a slight curve going on here now. But that slight curve will make all the difference in the end look. Still not happy with the teeth. I've never been happy with the way my teeth have turned out, but if I can get it when the leather's just at the right point of drying, I can squeeze in the cut I've made here and give more of a curvature on the teeth. I can sand it back, yes, you know, later, but the better the shape is in the first instance, the better the look and finished art. Okay, continue on the face. As demonstrated earlier, this bit here is where I'm just, I'd like to say cutting lines, but I'm just scraping lines. And the lines will all help with the end definition of the face, and they are literally nothing more than just scraping lines all over the shop, to try and emphasise the whole kind of look. What I'll be doing is that I'll do the bit where I chuck some boiling water over it, and then hopefully these lines will open up. What I'm also doing is using a nail that ground down just to get much more of that diggy effect, only that I didn't really make it sharp enough. So just to sort of give much more of a dappled look to the whole facial features, but I might be going over that again because I'll probably lose a lot of it when I do the parboiling, but I'm not too worried, just do it. But so I've put in loads and loads of these little lines, as one would expect with an ordinary type face, and I'll be parboiling them open and reshaping the face again, and that's that for the moment. Yeah. Now what I've done is I've very, very, very gently parboiled the face. I don't know if you can see the extra definition where the little lines have opened up, but I'm now at that point where I've just got to put in loads of small details and then reshape once more when the leather is dry enough. When the leather is dry enough, as I said before, I'll be sticking on a waterproof backing to the front, to the back, sorry. Then dyeing up the front. That's still a bit too wet to do that with. And then I'll be waterproofing that, because even with parboiling, that given that these things can be sitting out in the field over a wet weekend, you want it to be as waterproof as possible so you just don't lose the definition. It's a mistake I made in the past when I first made a skull, and I only just found out this weekend that the parboiling doesn't hold as well as what I would have hoped without the waterproofing. So that's what I'm about. And reshaping, etc., etc. And well, that's basically it. Once I've reshaped this, I'll do a little update on what it looks like, and that'll be it. This is the end product. This is going to be part of shoulder armour, or pauldron. That's going to be going onto this piece of armour. It's still being constructed and all. But a little bit of dyeing and painting up should be okay.